So Billings is talking with Shirley, and he has this poker face that he's been practicing for a long time, and I don't know what I think about him.
If we don't respect the order of things, then it all falls apart. The pact is what we have. Those are the words we live by.
You need to stand up and call bullshit.
He held it together. So he says that we have the pact. These are the words we live by. These are the law, and it's the unifying principles which keeps everyone in the silo safe. He doesn't say that word for word, but that's what he's saying, right?
Yep.
But he doesn't follow the pact. He I don't know if he has the syndrome or what the syndrome is, but he thought he had it, and so he should be going outside to clean, but then he doesn't. So there's like a clear law that society has agreed upon. This is punishable by effectively death. And he's there like, I'm the sheriff. It doesn't apply to me.
And okay, so the first time you get the shakes, you're not being like, I got the syndrome, and then you got to clean. So you got to like, there's some turn on time where you like to verify it.
Right.
Plus, the consequences of saying I have the syndrome are so high, you're gonna wait a while, right?
Right, to be
So
for sure. Like it wasn't like I had food poisoning, got a shake or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
I see.
So at what point, how long do you have to wait before it's like, okay, he's gone from the sheriff who's upholding the law to a corrupt cop who's allowing a person with the syndrome to be on in the sheriff's department? When does that turnover happen? 6 months?
I don't know.
Doctor's diagnosis?
It's especially complicated because it's not like it's one of his underlings. It's him. Like he is personally benefiting from not upholding the law.
That's right.
Right. Like if I'm a cop and I'm like, I can park my car anywhere because who's going to give me tickets? Well, not me. Like that's not cool.
There are, okay, but there's like perks in law enforcement. It's like you get a couple of perks because you're a city worker, you know. But this is a serious offense because this is a basic part of the pact to stop the syndrome from spreading or causing social upheaval.
That's a good point. That's a good point from spreading, like because for us it looks like Parkinson's or some other type of neurodegenerative disorder, and as far as I know, they're not contagious. So it's while not good for the person that has the syndrome or the disease, but it's okay for everyone else around them. Like it's not going to hurt them. But we don't know. We don't know what the syndrome is in the Silo universe. It could be something contagious. It could be something that is contagious but has a delayed onset. So Billings has the syndrome, but he may have got it as a baby. And so if you could transfer to something to a bunch of people and they wouldn't even notice it for several decades, that could be something that's really serious in this limited 10,000 time capsule bottle of a society. And so I'm guessing at why is it such a big deal in the silo?
Right. They may not actually know if it's contagious or not, but the pact people were like, we don't know if it's contagious or not. Therefore, we have to act as if it is.
You need a hard line.
Therefore, we got to hardline it. Maybe someday we'll figure it out, but today we do not know. We got to kick them out because we do not want this to spread. Kind of sucks.
It sucks, but that's the law as decided by the founders, the pact that they made, because that's whatever they needed for their society. And so here's Billings clearly in violation of it, and then so he breaks the law for his personal benefit, but then he says, "Oh, we live by the pact. That's our law. That's what we have to live by." But isn't that hypocritical? Isn't that cheating?
At the same time,
isn't that corrupt?
It is corrupt, but at the same time, sometimes breaking the law as a law enforcement officer or a member of the public is a good thing.
What do you mean?
So, for example, in the civil rights movement in the U.S., the law on the books were just like racist.
Yeah.
And there probably were a lot of cops who stood aside as people flagrantly broke the law, which was, we now say the laws are bad. We could say to that police officer who stood aside and allowed the civil rights movement to take place, as a corrupt cop, not enforcing the law. He doesn't get to decide the law. Legislature does. Corrupt cop.
Yeah. So you're saying where there were laws where black people couldn't go into the white restaurants, but then the police officer was like, "I'm not upholding that. That law is wrong," and so we let the African Americans people into the white restaurants, and so. At the time, we would have called them a corrupt police officer. We're like, get him off the force. But looking back on it, we're like, they did the right thing, actually. It was, they didn't uphold the law, but actually it was the right thing to do.
So how do you determine, in the current moment, how do you determine which is the right move? Do you uphold the law or do you say, I'm going to go against the law? And each person's sense of right and wrong will guide that. And history gets to decide, well, that was a good decision, that was a bad decision. He's corrupt, he's not. But how do you know? So
That is a good
Billings
point.
here, is he breaking the law for the betterment of society, or is he breaking the law because he's corrupt? Is it just history that decides?
I see it. Because while, yes, he is personally benefiting from not executing himself, he is doing good stuff. Ooh,
Yep.
Complicated.
So in summary, win.
Win.
And then you're okay.
Mm-hmm. Deal with the consequences after.
Mhm.